Can you imagine a man so consumed by divine passion that he'd climb on top of his grandfather's grave to preach salvation to a restless crowd, setting their hearts ablaze with his words? That's John Wesley for you, a soul so fiery. It's no wonder his life feels like a blazing torch cutting through the fog of 18th century England. I'm practically trembling with excitement to share this story, to pull you into the whirlwind of a man whose heart was warmed by God and whose courage changed the world. Buckle up, because Wesley's journey, from a boy saved from flames to a preacher who set himself on fire for the gospel, is going to grip your soul and leave you inspired. It all begins on June 17, 1703, in the humble rectory of Epworth, Lincolnshire, where John Wesley is born, the 15th child of Samuel and Susanna Wesley. Picture a bustling household, shadowed by loss. Only 10 of their 19 children survive the brutal reality of disease-ridden England. My heart aches for those little lives cut short, but Susanna, a lioness of faith and intellect, pours everything into her children. She homeschools them with fierce discipline, Latin, Greek, and classics from age 5, daily prayers, and Bible study. She carves out an hour each week for each child's soul, and young John drinks it in, his spirit shaped by her unwavering devotion. I can almost see him, a wide-eyed boy, absorbing her lessons like a seedling soaking up sunlight. Then, tragedy strikes with a spark that could have ended it all. On February 9, 1709, a fire, likely arson, fueled by Samuel's Tory politics, swallows the rectory. 5-year-old John is trapped upstairs, forgotten in the panic. My pulse races imagining the terror, the roaring flames, the choking smoke. Neighbors spot him at the window, form a human ladder, and yank him out just as the roof collapses. Susanna calls him a brand plucked from the burning, quoting Zechariah 3 verse 2, and John clings to that divine rescue as his life's calling. It gives me chills. God had plans for this boy. And as if that weren't enough, the rectory later buzzes with eerie knocks and groans, dubbed Old Jeffrey by the family. Those ghostly whispers make me lean in, wondering if they hinted at the spiritual battles John would face. At 10, John heads to Charterhouse School in London, a prestigious but harsh place where he's bullied and half-starved. Yet, he clings to fasting and devotional books, his faith a flickering candle in the dark. My heart twinges for that lonely boy, holding fast to his routines. By 1720, he's at Christ Church, Oxford, dazzling with logic, classics, and languages. Ordained a deacon in 1725 and a priest in 1728, he's elected a fellow at Lincoln College, teaching Greek and diving into mystical works like The Imitation of Christ and a serious call to a devout and holy life star. Around 1725, his Oxford conversion ignites a vow to chase holiness, casting aside worldly pleasures for prayer and charity. I'm in awe of his resolve. It's like he's forging his soul in a crucible. Back at Oxford in 1729, John led the Holy Club, a group started by his brother Charles and George Whitefield. Mocked as Methodists for their rigid habits, daily prayers, Bible study, prison visits, and helping the poor, they face scorn but stand firm. I feel a surge of pride for their grit, turning jeers into a badge of honor. Then, after Samuel's death in 1735, John and Charles sailed to Georgia as missionaries. The voyage shakes John. Moravians stay calm in a storm, while he trembles, doubting his salvation. In Savannah, his strict rules alienate colonists, and a romance with Sophie Hopkirk crashes when she marries another, leading to a communion dispute and a lawsuit. Fleeing back to England in 1737, he's broken, crying, "I went to convert the Indians, but who shall convert me?" His despair hits me hard. It's so human, so raw. But oh, the turning point. In London, Moravian Peter Baller nudges him towards simple faith. On May 24, 1738, at Aldersgate Street, hearing Luther's preface to Romans, John's heart was strangely warmed. Assurance floods in. Trust in Christ alone banishes fear. At 34, this moment sets him ablaze, and I get goosebumps just picturing it. A man reborn, ready to shake the world. In 1739, George Whitefield urged him to preach in Bristol's fields to coal miners. "The world is my parish," he declares, defying church walls. Mobs riot, Clergy sneer, but conversions soar. He forms societies, classes for accountability, and bands for confession, building a movement that endures. I'm thrilled by his audacity. It's like he's rewriting the rules of faith. Now, here's a moment that sets my heart racing. In 1742, barred from preaching in Epworth Church, his own hometown, John refuses to be silenced. With a boldness that makes me want to cheer, he climbs onto his grandfather's tombstone in the churchyard, turning it into a pulpit. Picture it, the sun setting, a crowd gathering, some curious, some hostile, as John's voice rings out, preaching salvation by faith. His words pierce hearts, and souls are won right there on that sacred, unconventional stage. It's a scene of defiance and divine purpose that leaves me breathless. Talk about standing on the shoulders of ancestors to proclaim truth. Wesley's life is a marathon of fire. He travels 250,000 miles on horseback, preaches 40,000 sermons, faces storms and mobs, and sparks revivals across Britain, Ireland, and Scotland. Clashes with Calvinists like Whitefield over predestination sting, but they reconcile. His 1751 marriage to Mary Vazeille turns bitter with jealousy, leaving him childless and separated. A personal wound that makes me ache for him. Yet, he pours that pain into action, writing against slavery, founding schools, and aiding the poor. His doctrine of Christian perfection, total love conquering sin, sparks debate but fills me with hope. And when asked the secret of his success, he delivers a line that sets my soul ablaze. I set myself on fire, and people come to watch me burn. Can you feel the heat of that conviction? It's not just preaching. It's living so passionately that others can't look away. In his final years, Methodism grew to 72,000 in Britain, 60,000 in America. He ordained preachers for the colonies in 1784, paving the way for an independent church. Until his last breath on March 2nd, 1791, at 87, whispering the best of all is, "God is with us," Wesley burns bright. Buried amid thousands, his legacy, Methodist denominations, small group discipleship, social justice, still blazes. Wesley's story, from a boy saved from fire to a man who set himself ablaze for God, leaves me in awe. It's a call to live boldly, to let your faith burn so fiercely that others are drawn to the light. So, here's my challenge. Don't let this fire die out. Grab a Bible, join a community, or step out to serve someone today. Set yourself on fire. Be the spark that draws others to Christ. What's holding you back? Start now, and let your life blaze for all to see.